Hi, I'm Dychronic, but my real name is Ramsey, and I make videos on the internet for news, tips, tricks, top 10s, spreadsheets for Destiny 2. And I'm gonna be upfront and honest with you, today's video, I wanna ask for your help. Specifically, your financial help. Now, I know a lot of people are gonna be clicking away immediately because they don't have the means or the desire to watch this kind of video. And trust me, I understand. As somebody that's making less than half of minimum wage, I get it. Everyone is asking for support, but hear me out, I have a really good story to tell. To preface this story, allow me to set the scene. In 6 months, I will run out of savings and I will not be able to continue at the rate of content and quality that I offer to you now. So the 10 to 20 hours I spend every week on the spreadsheets alone, and making all those videos from the reset to the TWAB to the Zerb, being able to do the 12 hours of streaming that I do on Twitch every week, on top of all of the background maintenance, answering questions on my Discord, interacting with people, playing with people, being able to play Destiny enough to keep up with the meta to get all the things I need to get for my videos, on top of all the other things, my email correspondences with businesses and industries, getting sponsorships, handling giveaways, all of that stuff. I'll have to get a part-time or full-time job to be able to supplement that income, and a lot of that stuff will take a big hit, and I may have to give up on this dream that I have. So in today's video, I'm going to be launching my Patreon, where you can pledge a certain amount of money every month as a kind of salary to me if I continue doing what you like. Based on literally you, the viewer, I will be able to continue doing and following my dreams. And that's what I'm doing. I'm chasing my dreams, and I'm working very hard to make it a reality, but I need your help. And before I get into the Patreon, I wanted to tell you a story, which is probably going to be the bulk of this video, and if you don't care about that story, you can skip to the time on screen right now where I'll be talking about the Patreon and its tiers, but obviously if you wanted to see it for yourself, it is linked in the description down below. So this story is going to be the story of how I started YouTube, the reasons why, what happened, everything in between, and honestly, it's a very humbling and really nice story that'll help you understand that I'm chasing my dream. So I released my first video on my YouTube channel on December 26, 2012. So I've been doing YouTube for about 7 years now, and I'd like to think that makes me a bit of a veteran, definitely in the second or third wave of successful YouTubers. And aside from having a financially supportive family, I had every disadvantage that you can think of. My computer's RAM was measured in megabytes, my seat was a Moroccan cushion, my desk I couldn't even fit my feet under. I had a 4x3 monitor, I had an Xbox 360 that I couldn't record because that was a generation without a built-in DVR, I did not have an Elgato, I had very few games, I knew nothing about social media, I didn't even have a MySpace at the time. I was a very asocial, shy kid that didn't really talk to people, I didn't have any experience with Photoshop or video editing or anything in between at all whatsoever, and I just one day started. I actually remember the specific chain of events that caused me to start my YouTube channel. I remember I would take my free time during lunch or my free period to watch YouTube in the computer lab because I love watching these YouTubers. Specifically, I was into the Minecraft project, Syndicate project back in episode 85, the really early days of his career, and every time I would look at it and I would go, that is something I would love to do. Because at the time, I was already into video games. I had played since the NES, PlayStation 1, Xbox, and GameCube, and I didn't really know how I could turn that into a passion and the reality of a career. So in my mind, it made the most sense that I would follow the computer science path because I was good at math, that seemed like a good payment, and I could be involved in video games. But then I look at this guy on YouTube playing games, having fun, being humorous, and I said to myself, that is something I would like to do more than anything else that I've ever wanted to do. And therein, I found a purpose. And this sounds like a whole lot of malarkey, but it truly, literal definition, I found a purpose. I had a reason to be passionate. I had a reason to be motivated, and I wanted to chase that dream because there was nothing else that I'd rather do. Laziness was the other option. But even then, there was something stopping me, some barrier between me and the objective, what people would think of me, not having all those skills, being weary about trying something new, and I just didn't click yet. Until one fateful night when I was playing some Zombies Grief with my buddy Colton, and it's generally Zombies is a game that I'm very, very good at, but we were just dying all over the place and we were having so much fun. In my mind, I understood that if you had a good personality, that you were humorous, and that you were motivated, you could make it on YouTube. That's what I understood as YouTube. Nowadays, I realize there's a lot more to it, but I looked at him and I said, we're funny, you're funny. We should totally start a YouTube channel. And so we did. Our very first video was a video on Minecraft Tech It. We originally wanted it to be on Little Inferno, but we didn't have it downloaded yet, and I had absolutely terrible internet at the time, and we sucked, to be honest with you. That was literally the video started with, "Oh, I think we're recording now." And that's how it all began. Unfortunately, after about a month, Colton stopped doing the YouTube stuff because he had to focus on some school and athletic stuff, but I continued on in his stead. And here's another part of the story that I'm very humbled about. In the first 6 months of doing YouTube, after posting nearly daily, 180 videos, I had 80 subscribers. I had the worst start to YouTube that you could possibly have. And yet I kept going. And to this day, I don't understand why I didn't quit. I'm glad that I didn't, but I don't understand how I had the mental fortitude to continue along. But now I'm realizing that it's because there was nothing else that I wanted to do more than be a professional YouTuber, to play video games for a living. And so that spurred me into my first year of doing YouTube, where I ended up at 1,000 subscribers, which is obviously way more than I expected after the first 6 months getting nothing. And a huge and very critical part of my career is I met these two guys, Sykes and Kyle, and they drastically changed my outlook on YouTube. They taught me about search engine optimization. They were another kind of person that was also doing YouTube, so we could talk about the YouTube stuff. I could keep my sanity in check because of the continuous grind of doing things over and over again and getting different results. So if they hear this video, I want to say thank you. You really did shape my career, and you allowed me to be successful, because without them, I would not be successful today. And for those of you who are doing something, whatever you're doing YouTube, you're trying to be a NASA engineer, whatever it is, there are always people near you that will be able to help you, be able to keep your sanity, be able to talk to, and it is so much easier to do. And this goes for video games too. If you're playing Destiny 2 and not knowing or not having a reason to continue playing, find some friends, find some people that are fun to play with, find a clan. It is absolutely a fantastic thing to have. By the 1.5 year mark, I had around 10,000 subscribers. I was doing really well with Call of Duty Extinction, which is a kind of zombie survival mode. I started learning a lot more stuff with SEO. I've been learning things along the way, and this exponential rise was just so empowering. And by the end of the second year, I had 80 to 90,000 subscribers because Destiny 1 came out, baby, and that is what spurred my career into the next few levels. Obviously, we are 5 years later, and I'm not really that much bigger than I was, so obviously I've made a lot of mistakes along the way. I made a lot of decisions that I'd wish I'd made a different decision in. You know, I'd changed my content in different ways, I kept my content stagnant in different ways, but here we are today. After all of that turmoil, I've continued making videos, like 2,000 videos on my channel now, and I've actually deleted a whole bunch of videos, but this is where we are. I work harder than I've ever worked before. I make content as good or better than I've ever made before, but I cannot continue to do it without your help. And don't get me wrong, I'm not in a really big pitiable position. I'm sitting right here in front of my current setup, and I like to think to myself that there is not a lot of ways that this could get better. Triple monitor setup, race car chair, crazy light up keyboards and mice from Logitech, Astro headsets, every console that I could have, Elgato, all of the things that I could possibly want, a really good computer too. And it's all of this stuff has come from YouTube. It has been paid by my efforts here on YouTube. It's not stuff for material desire that I want. What I want is a sense of security. And that's why I'm asking for your help today, is because I want to stop gnashing my teeth. I want to stop looking at my Wells Fargo account and trying to figure out how I can make it. I want to stop buying the cheapest possible rice and instead buy some meat. And again, that's an exaggeration. Obviously, I eat a lot of meat, but you know what I'm saying. I want some security, and I need your help to do that. So let's switch gears and actually talk about the Patreon page. If you've never heard of it, Patreon is basically a website where you can support your creators of a bunch of different types. There's musicians, there's content creators, there's so many different kinds of people here where you dedicate a certain amount of money per month to go to them so they can continue doing what they're doing. It's really helpful for people like YouTubers because in January we don't make a lot of money, in December we make a little bit more money. So it's extremely variable, and Patreon allows us to have a guaranteed amount of income and still offer you guys a whole bunch of different things in return. So that's what we're going to be going over in this particular section. We're going to be going over the incentives. Now I've created a bunch of different incentives here. They're not really crazy incentives. It's just some basic stuff to get started, and I'll be adding some more later. So let's go ahead and get started with the first tier. By the way, I really love how I did this little grayscale thing that goes up. You're able to see the 2 down here. It also looks pretty good. But at the $5 tier, we have the Tiger Cub. By the way, not a furry. I just think that it's good branding to have the tiger thing go across. At the $5 tier, you will be awarded the Patreon role in my Tiger's Den Discord server. This will give you the same permissions as the Jedi Knight, which is the level 10 rank in the particular Discord server, which allows you to have all of the privileges and access to a bunch of different things, and of course you'll have the status in that server. Now, if you did not know, my Discord is linked in the description down below and is the best place to reach me. Our current server has almost 3,000 members on it, and if you ever had questions, you wanted access to the spreadsheets, or if you just wanted to interact with other people that are like-minded, it's a great place to do that. And of course, this rank gives you a special role so you can be recognized as a VIP on the dance floor. And of course, every single one of these tiers includes everything in the previous tier as well. So the $10 tier obviously has that Discord server Patreon role, and your name will appear in the Patreon credit at the end of videos. So at the end of all my videos from now on, I'll try to add a little credit section saying thank you to those people, obviously organizing them by their contribution amount. So this is basically just my way of saying you guys are awesome. This is just a shout out. These guys are amazing, and I might shout out a bunch of different people on Twitter as an extra bonus to say these people are awesome. Just say thank you to them because this is awesome. Next up at the $25 tier, we have the Adult Tiger, everything in the previous one, as well as early access to videos, guides, spreadsheets that I make ahead of time of my regular video releases. Now, when I make my spreadsheets, generally I make them a few days ahead of time, so if you want to participate and have input in creating these spreadsheets and see them as they're created, early access, I'll be releasing this stuff through Patreon, making posts, sending you guys links, and a kind of exclusive access. And if I do make videos ahead of time or make them early, I will release them unlisted for you Patreon people before they actually go live. Moving on to my 4th tier, the Elder Tiger at $100 a month. This obviously will include everything that I have mentioned previously, as well as for 1 time a month, your voice input or presence in any one of my videos monthly. So basically, if you wanted a few lines in my top 10 video, if you wanted to say, hey, at number 5 and actually do a part in my video, or if I do a certain funny moments, you can actually be in that video in its entirety. This kind of things that I want to add to my videos that I haven't really done much in the past. We'll see how that works. And obviously there's only going to be 4 of these because I can't have like 100 people doing this, although hey, if I can get $10,000 a month, I would take it. And don't get me wrong, this does seem a bit steep to be in one of my videos once a month, but again, you are supporting me, and this is just one of those methods that I can imagine that you guys would want. And finally, at tier 5, we have the Shere Khan rank. If you don't know what Shere Khan is, by the way, look it up. Probably the most ferocious tiger, most famous tiger in the entire world, in my opinion, from my own subjective opinion. Don't start going in the comments, I like this tiger. Shere Khan is a badass, let's just be honest here. Now, this is mostly a joke rank. I don't think that anybody's gonna do it. I don't expect anybody to do it, and there's no extra incentive for you to do it outside of obviously having everything else previously, but it's just something for fun that I thought I'd add. And of course, like I mentioned before, these are not gonna be the only tiers that are gonna happen. I'm still trying to figure out what the other tiers should be, so if you have recommendations for incentives, let me know in the comments down below. Let me know in the Patreon post, or just interact with me on Discord. Like I said, very active on Discord. Any questions, any recommendations, let me know. I have some other ideas in the future, like if I start a merch line. I know that Patreon can handle merch where they send you some type of merch every single month. I think would be really cool. But obviously I don't have merch at the moment. You guys gotta let me figure that out. So at 13.5 minutes through the video, what do I wanna say? I wanna say that if 0.1% of you donate $10 a month, and $10 a month is basically nothing. I could donate $10 a month to somebody that I believe in. But if 0.1% of you donates $10 a month, I could make minimum wage. And that's plenty for me. I can make it with minimum wage because I'm very frugal and I have really no want for a lot of material goods. I don't really travel a lot. I don't have a luxurious eye to me. I just want to follow my dreams. And that's all I could ever ask for. And if it ever comes to the time that I'm making more than enough money with YouTube, that I start being successful in other ways, then I will obviously find a way to give that back to the community, because I really mean it when I say I want not for material goods. But anyways, that's the end of the video. I hope you guys did enjoy. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching the entire video. And at 15 minutes, I'll say thank you. My name's been Dychronic, and I'll see you guys on the next one.